Hello, and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Vanderbilt Commodores in our college football Game of the Week preview here on this Monday is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, brother?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Another great Monday talking college football with you, my man. We got a good one with the Bulldogs, who are looking really good so far this year, and the Commodores, who are hoping to get the biggest upset of their season this upcoming week against Georgia. I'm ready to talk more about it, man.
Whew. Yeah, I think you're right. We're based here in Atlanta, Georgia, and thank you guys so much for watching here on our live broadcast, watching on our simulcast, and listening to our podcast. But, we're here based in Georgia. We love our home team. I used to live in Tennessee, so I definitely know a lot about Vanderbilt. I've been to the campus. It's a beautiful campus. There's some great people going on there. It's a great school. But, this time around, we want to see them dogs fight. We want to see the Vanderbilt Commodores do the best they can, and we want to see that fan base rock out. But yeah, Mr. Logan Landers, tell us, what do we have to look forward to for Georgia versus Vanderbilt?
Well, let's talk more about the Georgia Bulldogs, the currently number 2 ranked team in the NCAA in the country. Looking good. Already have a spot in that college football playoff at the moment. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going throughout the remainder of the season. Going against Vanderbilt this upcoming week. And last week they looked great against the South Carolina Gamecocks. They won 40-13. JT Daniels put up a tremendous performance. 23 of 31 passing, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Not a bad day at all for the number 1 quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. Kendall Milton did a lot of work on the ground. There's 266 rushing yards. James Cook with a touchdown, and also Zamir White with a touchdown. So they were just scoring any way possible. They had a great offensive attack against the Gamecocks. They looked absolutely tremendous. And only giving up 13 points is not too shabby either. Their defense has looked great all of this year. Only allowed 82 rushing yards in total throughout the entire game. Luke Dottie looked pretty good too, 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But he was trying his best, man. It's tough against that Bulldogs defense, who've looked absolutely amazing so far. Adonai Mitchell for the Georgia receiving corps was doing great too. Led the way with 77 receiving yards and a touchdown. Jermaine Burton had a good touchdown as well. That was a big play for the Dogs at the time. And so everything just seemed to be going right if you were a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Nolan Smith leading the way with the defense, looking like an absolute star in the making. 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1.5 tackles for losses. So he was just an absolute hawk on the field this past week, just doing everything you'd want one of your best defensive players to be doing. And Georgia, man, what more can you say? They looked like they were the number 2 team in the country. They proved that, they were supposed to go in there, beat South Carolina, beat them by a good bit. That's exactly what they did. They beat them 40-13. So they looked pretty good. Hats off to the Gamecocks. They tried their best, but they knew it was going to be an uphill battle throughout the entire game. And, man, it don't get any easier for Vanderbilt. They've got a tough road ahead of them. But let's talk about what they did last week and what they can hopefully try to do to stop, the high-powered offense with JT Daniels and company, and what they could do to break a little bit of armor off of that defense who's looked absolutely stacked this season. So last week, Vanderbilt faced Stanford. They unfortunately lost 41-23. Ken Seals, their quarterback, he didn't do the best. He needs to definitely have a better game this week. He was 16-37, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So you definitely need to see a better performance by him, throw at least probably 250, if not more, passing yards, you would hope. And just kind of get that completion percentage a little bit better, because 16-37 isn't going to do you too much against this Georgia team. As for the rushing game, that was really where their bread and butter was. That's where they got a good bit of their yards, a good bit of their momentum. Rocco Griffin, great name first off. We need more Roccos in college football. 19 carries for 170 yards. No touchdowns on the day, but a good running performance. Reman Davis, 12 carries for 76 with a score. So you're going to need both of those guys to really just kind of duplicate what they did last week. In total, they ran for 247 yards. So their running game was definitely on point last week. They got to step it up this week. And it's going to be a tough task. For the receiving core, they look pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Chris Pierce Jr. led the way with 6 catches and 52 yards. Cam Johnson had a touchdown as well. And then Devin Bodie had the other one on the day. So they need to get the passing game definitely up a little bit, because you got to throw for a lot more yards than that. Because if you start getting one-dimensional with the running game, Georgia, that's where their bread and butter is, man. They have an amazing run defense, and they got to really step things up, bring everything you can, get some trick plays, get some flea flickers. I don't know, just do anything to try and get a little bit of momentum on your side this upcoming week. But as for the defense, what can they do? Who is going to be some of the guys that can stop this Georgia offense? They did good. They had one sack, 2 tackles for losses. Anthony Origi looked pretty good. 6 tackles on the day, led the way for the Commodores. And they did not have any interceptions. They're definitely going to want to get a few of those. You got to get some momentum. You got to get a turnover any way possible, whether it's a fumble, whether it's an interception or anything. You just got to have luck on your side a little bit if you want to pull off this upset. But it's going to be tough, Jeremiah. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a tough road for Vanderbilt. And if I had to pick a final score on this one, I think I'm going to go with the clear-cut winner. In a lot of people's eyes, I got to go with the Georgia Bulldogs getting the win in this one. I think they're going to win big. I think Georgia was going to get the win in this one. Let's go 45, and Vanderbilt, I'll give them 14. So 45-14. I think the Bulldogs are going to get the win ultimately. I think the Commodores are going to put up a good fight. But, man, just the star power with JT Daniels and crew, it's gonna shine this upcoming week. And I got the Dogs getting another win this upcoming week.
Man, I can see it. I see them Dogs coming in. They want to play. So them Georgia Bulldogs, they're going to come hard. The Vanderbilt Commodores, they are going to come in, and they're going to come hard. They've got something to prove. They got a chip on their shoulder. They have a lot of things that they want to do right. So, yeah, I would love to see them come in, and I'd love to see them fight to the very end of every single quarter, of every down. I just want to see, a great football game. And I think everybody watching, you're probably just as excited as I am to get back to college football in the normal way, going and seeing it. Is this week 3, right?
Yep, going into week 3.
Week 3. How has your football season been so far with this new season? Have you got to go to any of the games? Have you got to go to a tailgate? Are you watching on TV? Are you watching at a sports bar? What is your experience this season so far with college football? Let us know in the comments. And also, what do you think about that final score? Do you think that that's a final score that you can palpate with what Mr. Logan Landers is telling us? Tell us again in the comments. And I just tell you, I am so excited and so happy to see this game coming up. So for everybody watching us on YouTube, Twitch, or over on Facebook, thank you so much. All of your likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions to our network have helped us so much. But what's helped us the most is your word of mouth, telling your friends and family about 100 Yards of Football, telling your best buddy, at work, there's this great podcast I listen to, and it tells me all this great information about sports legends, current stars, game previews, team previews. And then he goes, well, how do I get to the podcast? And he goes, it's easy. You just go and pull up your Spotify app, pull up anywhere that you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts or Google or anywhere else that you love to listen to podcasts, and then just put in 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our logo come up there with the football on the 50-yard line, and we're sponsored by the Believe Podcast Network. So we definitely want you to come and join us. We put out a new podcast almost every day. We have hundreds of amazing legends interviews and amazing history specials that allow you to go back to the roots of the game and understand all of the great plays and players that have led us up to this point. We have modern, amazing previews of the current teams, game previews, and interviews with some of the cool people, including some of the draft picks, including some of the current coaching staff, including some of the former legends who've just retired or those who have, still been playing the game. And I just enjoy it so much every single week. So thank you to Mr. Logan Landers for bringing us this podcast and this video cast that tells us about the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Vanderbilt Commodores for this college football preview. We're going to be right back with another episode live here in just a second.